Hello, everybody, and welcome to Connor Sports Talk. Today, I'm going to be recapping the New Orleans Saints versus the Los Angeles Chargers. I almost said San Diego Chargers. Just gonna get used to. I'm gonna have to get used to saying Los Angeles, and it doesn't help that I'm very tired. I start college again tomorrow, and I have a morning class at 8:30. But I'm waking up an hour and a half before, for whatever reason, just to get myself situated, I guess. So that's gonna be fun. So yeah, back to the game. So like I said before, I'm gonna be recapping the game between the Saints and the Chargers. And I start off with the Saints because I am a Saints fan. I'm gonna be looking at the quarterbacks. So Chase Daniel didn't play too bad. He was 7 for 12 and 80 yards. And then moving on to the other starter for Los Angeles Chargers, Clemens. He was 10 for 17, 99 yards, 99-yard passing. Now see how many yards he had rushing, because he did scramble a good bit. He had three rushing attempts, and 26 rushing yards. So the known thing about this guy, in terms of the Saints, anyway, that the Saints got a lot of pressures. They got a total of 8 sacks, but the thing is that Clemens kept on running at the pocket every time we sent pressure, and sometimes he picked it up. So he made some nice plays in terms of that, just keeping the play alive and everything. And then moving on to the second quarterback, Ryan Nassib for the Saints. He didn't play very well. The only points that came for the Chargers was off of a pick 6 in the red zone, almost the end zone, of the Chargers, and there you got a 97-yard interception return off of Ryan Nassib. He was 6 for 15, 55 yards, and 1 touchdown. Ironically, I thought he played fairly well last game in Week 1 against the Browns, but he did not play very well at all this game. Unfortunately, I really like that guy. And then moving on to Cardell Jones, 7 for 15. Again, didn't have a very good game. He has 61 yards. He did have an interception, but that was off of a 4th and 23 maybe? It was something like that. He was sacked back to back, and he was back in his end zone. It wasn't a safety or anything. But he just logged it up, and then number 99 of the Saints picked it off. So it was just a desperation play. I mean, not much you can do. But overall, I don't really remember how well he played. So I can assume it was nothing spectacular or anything. So there's that. But moving on to really good players, Alvin Kamara. He had 5 rushing attempts and 61 yards, and 1 reception for 22 yards. So, in honesty, when they drafted him, I wasn't the biggest fan. Number one, because I already thought we had a good running back core, and we traded up for him, giving up our 2nd-round draft pick. But looking at the first 2 preseason games and what he looked to be during camp, I really like this guy. I believe that he's going to be the running back of the future. I believe that Mark Ingram's 27. He has 2 years left on the contract. So maybe we keep him after that, maybe we don't. But by the time that the contract ends, I have a feeling that Alvin Kamara, apparently that's how you pronounce his name, will be the starting running back. And AP's 32 years old. He's on a 2-year contract, so you can't really expect him to play out longer than that. I mean, if he does, it just shows AP's greatness. He's a Hall of Fame running back. Hopefully he wins the Super Bowl with the Saints, but let's be realistic here. And then the other two running backs I'm going to be talking about is Devin Vicker. I think that's his first name. You can't click on his name for whatever reason, but it's Steve Vicker. He had 14 rushing attempts, 58 yards, and his longest was a 11-yard rushing. 11 yards rushing and one attempt. So his stats don't look too good, honestly, but by the end of the game, he played pretty well. He had some nice plays, and honestly, but I guess it was because of just big chunk plays. And then moving to Edmonds, he was six rushing attempts for 23 yards. Longest run 11 yards. And if I remember correctly, yeah, he also had one reception for 22 yards off of his screen, I believe. So he played fairly well. And the drive that led to a field goal, I think it was like, yeah, it was 22 receiving yards and 23 rushing yards off of the field goal drive. The second field goal drive for the Saints. So he played pretty well. And then moving on to the running backs for the Chargers. None of them played very well, but I'll put that more on the Saints more than the Chargers. Williams had 11 rushing attempts and 23 yards, and Oliver with 7 rushing attempts for 10 yards, and Gordon 5 rushing attempts, 8 yards. And then Barner, wherever you pronounce his name, 3 rushing attempts, -1 yard. So here's the thing. The Saints front seven played really well for whatever reason. Usually you don't play that well. I mean, yeah, the Chargers offensive line isn't too great, but they just really got outplayed by the Saints. The Saints aren't really known for having a great front seven. So hopefully this is something that will go into the regular season. One could hope, because chances are with Delvin Breaux being out for a little bit, I think it's like 6 weeks, we're going to need a good front seven. And with that said, I might as well just talk about the defense for the Saints for a while. So I believe they had 8 sacks. And let's see, Monte Teo, he had a sack, 7 tackles. As I'm sure most of you guys know, Teo did play for the Chargers before he played for the Saints. Klein had a half of a sack. Robinson had 1. Vaccaro had 1, so that's 3.5 right there. Okafor had 1, so that's 4.5. Gromich had 1, so that's 5.5. Muhammad had a sack and a half, so that's 7. And then Marby and Rankins each had a half of a sack, so that's 8 sacks. So yeah, 8 sacks in total. So that's crazy. And it helped out that 2 of the sacks came off of back-to-back sacks by Muhammad and somebody else, I don't know who. And that came out very important because they were trying to score, because we were up 13-7, and then the back-to-back sacks really closed the game for us. So that was very important. And with that said, like, I've reviewed the Saints before, and it's unbiased because I'm a Saints fan. Yeah, I guess it is biased because I had them going 10-6. Most people don't think they're going to be a playoff team, but you can't be mediocre for this long with Drew Brees. I'm just expecting them to have a playoff year because, like I said before, you can't be mediocre 4 years in a row with Drew Brees. So I can assume that they're going to have a playoff year now. But with that said, I did say that the linebacking core was kind of bad. Today, the linebacking core played great. Teo played great. Klein played great. Robertson played good too. What's his name? The guy who had some type of disorder who had to leave last year played good, but he did have that dropped interception. Oh, I can't find his name, but the rookie someone played pretty well too. He did have that one holding play, but he's a rookie. I honestly didn't think it was too bad. And we did have a forced fumble. I believe it was Sterling Moore who forced the forced fumble. Yeah, it was Sterling Moore. So, and I believe we got a field goal off of that. Wait, no. We just stopped them in our red zone. Yeah. And I forgot to mention that the first play of scrimmage, or for offense, Alvin Kamara ran a 50-yard touchdown. So that was pretty good. Like I said before, he's going to be the running back of the future for the Saints. Moving on for the defense for San Diego. McCoy had that pick six. And then overall, I thought they played pretty well. I mean, not the starting unit. They allowed 10 points in the first quarter. So that isn't the best, but I do believe that the Chargers defense is going to be good. I mean, nothing great, but like I can predict a top half unit, like at least a best 16th defense. I can assume at least they have a good secondary, in my opinion, at least the cornerbacks. They should have taken Malik Hooker, but unfortunately that didn't happen. And then their rookie wide receiver is possibly out for the whole year. Why am I forgetting his name? I don't know. I'm just really tired right now. But the reason why I'm doing it now is because I didn't want to wait for a day or tomorrow to make this video. So, I don't know. But the thing with I want to go back to the Saints linebacking core. What can we expect out of them during the regular season? Because, no offense to the Chargers, they didn't start their quarterbacks. I mean, they didn't start Philip Rivers. What will the linebackers look against like a good quarterback? Because we're in the NFC South. We go against Matt Ryan, Cam Newton, Jameis Winston. We're playing against Aaron Rodgers this year. Tom Brady. We got 8 sacks, and I have to say at least half of the sacks came off of linebacker blitzing. And would a veteran quarterback be able to tell that we're blitzing a linebacker? And will they be able to dissect our defense instead of us having to play against backup quarterbacks? So that's just something to look at as a Saints fan. But thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe, and don't forget to share the video. Thank you.